School shopping comes just as the latest inflation numbers showed a slight uptick after a very steady year-long decline. In fact, families spent about $709 to be exact more last month than around the same time 2 years ago. So according to Moody Analytics, housing costs, they're soaring too, so are groceries, vehicles, and costs of services like cable. Experts say the money you make is more in line to handle prices from 2019. Not right now. It makes budgeting all the more crucial. Kathy DeWitt Dunn, president of CEO of DeWitt and Dunn Financial Services, joins us. Good morning, Kathy.
Morning, Clea. Thank you for having me back.
Glad to have you. So what do the latest inflation figures say about the economy and what to expect in the months ahead?
Yeah, well, recently we had a interest rate hike, and the underlying pressures of our financial world. Things are really kind of remaining steady and signaling that the Fed may not increase rates next month. But the biggest thing is that the Fed has increased our rates, and it's the highest that we've been in 22 years. And it's not clear next month if we're going to have another interest rate hike. But last month, Fed Chair Jerome Powell indicated that the central bank will be making those decisions on a meeting by meeting basis. But regardless of what the Fed decides, we definitely need to take a look at our finances
hmm
and be proactive and maybe paying off our high interest rate debt and being prepared for all the volatility that still remains ahead of us.
Oh, and back to school shopping, it's a necessary expense for many families. What can parents expect to spend this year?
A lot of money. But the biggest thing is that even though we've seen our inflation numbers come down,
hmm
the school prices and everything that we're paying is completely a little out of line. But I think one of the challenges is that a lot of people did start purchasing school supplies at the beginning of the summer, according to a recent survey.
Yeah.
The biggest thing is that the backpacks, the lunch boxes, the clothing, all the items that we need, it's really important that we find the most cost-effective way to bring our kids and let them re-enter the school without really breaking our budget.
I mean, is there really a way for families to save money while they shop as well?
You know what? There really is. And I think the biggest thing for me is that what you need to do is have a budget, write down everything before you go into the store, and even have it a budget per child. If it's not written down, put it in your phone, but stay accountable. Don't, you know,
Go over
jump
the
off and
budget.
yeah, and don't be impulsive. So, and the other thing is too, is I always like to repurpose and reuse supplies. And that's one of the biggest things. School just let out in May. So I'm sure that we have some things that we can still use that our children can pull out of the closet, or maybe we have put it somewhere. But the other thing too is that if you need to buy laptops or electronics, Amazon and Best Buy and a couple of other places have a lot of those refurbished items that have a great warranty. So there is a great way to save money
Mhm.
and buy extra and plan ahead. You know, we know that this is going to happen. If you have multiple kids, just buy in bulk, and if divide it up amongst your kids, or use some of the items at home, or save them for next year. And then use coupons. This is the biggest thing. This is free money, coupons. So
Mhm.
go on to Instagram, Facebook, even credit card companies. If you go onto your credit card, you can take a look. If you go online, you may have some coupons sitting there for you. You just have to clip them and use them. But it's free money. Go everywhere you can to see what you can save.
Good points. Good points. And now, as we head into fall, what else should families keep in mind to stay on track with their finances?
I think the biggest thing is budget. We also fall off. We just had, our summer vacations. Now our kids going back to school. We need to sit down and evaluate our situation, because right ahead of us is the holidays. The last
Mhm.
thing we want to do is bring in 2024 with a lot of debt. And it's not exactly, you can always save money by cutting back on what we're spending, but sitting down and have those important discussions with all of our family members.
Great advice. Kathy, thank you so much for joining us here on Daybreak.
Thank you for having me.